I've got a new bike to show you. This is the Snapcycle Warrior. I've actually had this for a few months. That's why there's already dirt on the tires. And I only mention this to say that Snapcycle has been one of the better brands we've dealt with. They've been really good about service, about providing parts, and they're just a really good value. And when they originally shipped it to me, everything about the bike I really liked, except for one little thing. The power seemed a little funny from a stop or up hills. It just seemed like a programming issue. So I reached out to them and they developed a new firmware for the motor controller. So I just put that on today. Sorry, Snapcycle, for taking so long to get to this video. Now, maybe they don't want me to mention that the bike originally had a little bit of a flaw, but I feel like I should mention it because of the fact that they take care of things like that. If bikes have a problem, they fix it, their service is good. That has always been my experience, and that's why I carry other Snapcycle bikes in the shop. We're gonna put it on the Dyno, see how much power it's got. They say on the website that this is a 750 watt motor. It looks very much like a Bafang motor. It may not be a Bafang motor, but it's very similar to that. It's that style of planetary gear hub motor, sitting on 20-inch tires with CST tires to be exact. And it says on their website, 1200 watt peak power. We'll see if that's accurate. For range, we are running this off of a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery. So this does seem like a fairly entry-level bike at first glance. But the things I think you need to look at is that one, right now this bike is on sale, Black Friday pricing, early I'm assuming, for $11.99. So 1,200 bucks, and you get a 750 watt motor, 15 amp hour battery, a very comfortable seat that is set up for 2 people, has passenger pegs built in from the factory. It is full suspension. You actually do have compression adjustment on the front shock. There is a little bit of an adjustment on the rear shock. Oh, and hydraulic brakes. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure this bike can be set up as a class 1, 2, or 3. So there's a lot to unpack right there, but this seems like a pretty versatile bike. Now, I had several months ago when this bike first came in, like 6 different motorcycle, moped style mini bikes like this in the shop. And just for fun, I sat on every single one. I've got 5 different motorcycle style bikes. The question is, which one has the most comfortable saddle? First up, we've got the Flash from Uniro. Nice long saddle, feels fairly comfortable, pretty nice. Next up, we have a bike from Frigo, also a nice long saddle. A little bit softer than the Flash, I think, so takes the comfort up a notch. Next up, we have a brand new bike from Snapcycle called the Warrior, and wow, that is soft. This saddle is really nice. That might be the best one. And we have a bike for review, the Hydos B10. Saddle kind of looks like an alligator and feels like you're sitting on an alligator too. It's really hard. It's not comfortable. Next, we have a bike from Happy Run. Saddle is really wide, a little stiff, not the best. Almost forgot the Tiger. This one is really comfortable, probably a close second. And this one was the winner by far. This is one of the most comfortable saddles ever seen on a bike like this, if not the best I've ever seen. I'm not making that up. All right, I'm gonna turn the bike on. Has a nice color display, which I'll show you. There is a button right here that actually disables the throttle, making it a legal class 1 if it's off. Of course, we're gonna turn it on. In 3, 2, 1. I got wattage on the screen and over there. Let's see what we got. It is gonna be pretty close to the 1200 watt peak. It probably actually is doing that at the motor or battery. It's just not quite getting all of that power down to the ground. But we got 1,150 watts. The screen does show wattage, but it maxes out at 999. That's as far as the digits go, so I couldn't tell what it was gonna do on the bike. 29.45 pound-feet of torque. Roughly around 30 pound-feet is kind of what I was hoping for. especially with a little 20-inch wheel. Those usually help with the torque numbers. Basically, in my opinion, this thing has enough torque and power. It should be able to climb any hill just fine on throttle only with a single rider. Now, I did mention this saddle is set up clearly for 2 people. Depending on the weight of those 2 people, you could go up hills with both. It's probably something I would use with, like, say, one of my kids on the back, and it would be fine. Another adult on the back, it'd probably struggle up the hills. That's kind of about where the power's at, if you ask me. Let's write those numbers down. There's the numbers, Snapcycle Warrior. Let's go see where that fits on the board. It's gonna be on the left-hand side. The bike's over 1,000 watts. So starting at the bottom, G-Force RS, we're gonna pass that. Mach Wheel Basalt, Troxis Trax, Electric Express, Snapcycle. Hey look, another Snapcycle. R1 Pro, we're actually beating that. That's a 26-inch tire, so that kind of makes sense. And looks like we're coming up right about here. We're probably about even with the Ebike's Rebel 2. Torque is very similar, just a tiny bit less. Wattage is a tiny bit more. Now it's time to go ride it. Quick interruption as it's starting to get cold. Here's a couple of gear tips that I think you should look at. 1, a winter cycling jacket. It's thin, it's breathable, keeps me warm, but doesn't make me gross and sweaty. 2, these are something I can't live without. These are old and faded, but they're still comfortable. These are Pearl Izumi, but whatever you get, just get some nice winter cycling gloves, keep your hands warm. Now, one that's not quite so obvious is a headband to cover up your ears. If your ears are cold, you're gonna be cold. I think this is one that is often overlooked, and I absolutely cannot live or ride without this one during the coldest rides. And finally, if you like to listen to music while you're out riding, how about some earbuds? Now, I don't recommend wearing in-ear earbuds because you can't hear very well around you, especially like noise canceling, unless it has some sort of pass-through technology. But that's why I'm trying these right now. They're over-the-ear earbuds. These ones are from Litme and it's talking to me. And so far, I'm finding that these work quite well when riding. Because they're over the ear, I can still ride my bike. I can hear all of the ambient noise and what's going on. They're not blocking everything, but I can still very clearly hear music, podcasts, whatever I want to listen to. They have an IPX6 waterproof rating. They have a nice little charging case. Let's do a quick little run around the parking lot on the bike to see how well these things stay in, because I feel like the in-ear buds, at least for me, you know, sometimes they can fit secure, but I don't think I would ever personally trust them to stay on while I was actually on a bike ride. With these ones being clipped over the top, I think these will stay on even through some rough bumps and stuff. And truthfully, they are really comfortable. I hardly even noticed they're there. There are some different functions. So if you want to pick up a call, answer music, anything like that, they have some touch settings. You can just tap them. They are $39.99 on Amazon. So thank you to Litme for sending me these to try out. All right, let's cut over to some actual riding footage. I'm gonna grab my helmet and ride this bike for real. So I'm gonna have some drone footage occasionally in here to make the video more interesting, and it's gonna be nice and sunny out. That was clearly a different day. All right, so pedaling wise, because this bike is designed for 2 people, if you're just one person on the bike, you can scoot to the back seat area, and it's actually not bad to pedal. It is a cadence sensor. Wasn't expecting a torque sensor for the price. Most of Snapcycle bikes use a cadence sensor. Their R1 Pro has a torque sensor, so they're starting to introduce torque sensors on some of their models though. So you can't discount them strictly for being a cadence sensor, because they do have some. Oh, I might not have beat the rain. The rain is coming. I got fenders, it should be okay, right? Yeah. I should turn my lights on. There we go. Headlights on. But this thing is a perfect little get around town kind of bike. You know, these moped styles are never super great for like off-road, but fat tires, full suspension, well, you could do it. In fact, why don't we? Empire Mine's less than a mile away. See if I can make it there. Do a little bit of off-road on the trails, see how it handles it, and get back before getting wet. I hope I don't regret this. All right, so I was maxed out at 20 because I was on throttle. So I just stopped throttling and started pedaling. And now I'm doing like 24, 25 up this hill. Uphill. I should come this way for more videos. This is fun. I probably mentioned it in other videos, but right where I'm at like is about a mile from our store. Hello, little squirrel. Ah. I wasn't trying to hit him. The squirrels, they're crazy. We do rent bikes from our shop, so this is a really easy spot you can get to. And this place has always been friendly to e-bikes in my experience. There's no signs that say you can't. There's little trails that shoot off the sides, wider roads like this one. And you can see some of the old mining equipment and stuff that's still out here. I don't remember where this goes. Ooh, rocks. Occasional rock. It's fall weather. Somehow I keep bumping the throttle button to the off position. I gotta stop doing that. Yeah, so trail like this, occasional rock, little bit of bump, mostly dirt. This is the perfect kind of trail for a fat tire bike. But the full suspension combined with the cushy seat on this makes this an absolute breeze. So here's a concrete spot, so let's test the brakes. They are hydraulic. Ready? Oh yeah, stopped just fine. They're only 160s. I'd prefer 180s, but 160, probably what I would say is this. If you're a single rider, 160s, because it's got Tektro hydraulic brakes, probably gonna be just fine. If you're gonna go two up, actually put another person on the back of this on a regular basis, maybe spend a little extra money and bump up to some 180 rotors. I think that'd be smart. So the bike's fast enough that on a trail like this, where there's other people around, I can't even really go max speed. I can go this way. Can I just run over this without getting off the bike? Oh yeah, made it. Now we can open her up and get some speed, although I'm not sure if that's a good idea. And clearly, this is not the typical riding that this bike is made for. But it's nice to know that it can do it if you want to. Normally, when people say they want to go off-roading, I steer them away from this kind of bike. And I've reviewed other bikes and tried them off-road, and they're so clunky. The suspension isn't that great. The seats are hard. You can't pedal easily. And for some reason, the combination of saddle position, design, suspension, I mean, those shocks in the back didn't look like anything that fancy. But for some reason, this setup does better off-road than most little moped bikes I've tried it on. I haven't even tried it on all of them. Some of them I just know we're gonna be awful. But this one is not bad at all. All right, pedaling wise, I can't really do anything past about 25. So I'm just ghost pedaling, as they say. I'm doing 30, 31, 32, 33. So this bike does not have a speed limit at 28 from what I can tell. because it seems like it just kept going up to about 33 or so. Kind of a slow start. I wish it took off a little faster myself, but some people might appreciate the fact that it eases the power on. All right, there's that nice color screen, 5 different assist settings: off, eco, low, normal, high, and power. And it also gives you the number. We have the wattage, which shows up right here. We've got trip meter, odometer. You hold the up button, that turns the headlight on and off and kind of dims the screen a little bit. So actually, there's the real brightness right there. Tektro hydraulic disc brakes, like I said, would be nice to have a little bit bigger rotor if you're gonna have a couple people on there, but the 160s are working just fine for what I just did. The headlight is really big. Got this big, bright, like halo light with an LED in the center, and that center light you can turn on or off. So that's like your headlight, and this is just the running light function, which I think looks actually pretty cool from a distance. People definitely see you coming. And of course, it does have a functional taillight in the back as well, which also is a brake light. Here's those rear shocks, which worked better than I expected. It could be a combination of just the seat having so much cushion to it and being so comfortable that maybe they feel better than they really are, because they are pretty basic. These ones do have some adjustment. You have like these little notches you can put it into that would tighten it up a little bit. It's very basic. It's like old go-kart shocks, basically. But they're working. The triple tree felt nice, even on those off-road things that I was doing. There's the compression knob right here. I just had it on a nice soft setting, but you can stiffen that up if you'd like. Preload adjustment, that's kind of like your ride height on the other side. There's that button for the throttle I was mentioning that you can turn on or off, and every once in a while I was bumping that for some reason. Derailleur-wise, this is pretty basic budget stuff, but hey, it's 1,200 bucks on sale right now. What do you expect? 7-speed Shimano system. These passenger foot pegs are quite small, not a ton of grip necessarily. I haven't actually put my feet on them and used them myself, but I imagine they work just fine. They probably get the job done. It's a fairly small, short bike. It's probably not the best 2-person bike that's out there. You know, maybe a smaller person on the back. I think 2 people would fit just fine. 2 adults? I don't know. I've got a couple colors of the bike. I have the gray version. There's one that's more black. I do like how Snapcycle puts their logos in like these like color changing setups. They've got it right here where it says Snapcycle, and then over here where it says Warrior. Those do look really cool in person. I hope that comes through on camera as well. And like I said at the beginning of this video, I've been very happy with Snapcycle's service. They've always been very responsive to us as one of their dealers and taking good care of us. So thank you to Snapcycle for sending me the new Warrior bike to check out, and for supporting us as one of your dealers. So if you want to check out this bike and other Snapcycle models, we do have them in stock here at Area 13. And while I'm at it, let me just give you a quick sneak peek at some of the other deals, sales, things that are going on right now. Big new is a bike that I have in an upcoming video, as well as the Happy Run. The Velotric up here, the Summit model, that's one that is coming up for an e-bike review soon. And for some reason, I have been collecting a horde of scooters. I filmed a video on the Tank Torque 2000 watt scooter. Then I have the awesome DT1 Pro, about the same power. We've got the Iahora Tiger King, which is even more power. I think that was like 3,000 watts or something. Then I have the absolutely insane InMotion RS. We're talking 8,000 watts on a stand-up scooter. Nuts. I've also got one from Highboy. I've got another scooter here from Isin Wheel to review. And then I have this funny little thing, the Molo 5 4,000 watt dual hub motor, so 8,000 watts, supposedly 55 miles an hour. I haven't confirmed that for myself, but I will soon. So definitely some interesting videos coming up. Snapcycle Storm. This is one of our most popular selling bikes in the store. People try it, they love it. It's a folding bike, it's full suspension. Retails for $16.99. they're already on Black Friday sale. Same with the Snapcycle R1, very good value of a bike. I definitely recommend checking out some of these Snapcycle branded bikes if you haven't taken a close look at them before.